project was to go through the benefits and the cons of solar energy in a huge paper, but for the last part, we have to go into the community, and that's why I chose to come here, because I wanted to inform you and get you guys thinking about solar energy and the benefits that it may have for Plymouth specifically. So I've created a quick 2.5-minute video that I would like you guys to watch real quick, and I hope you guys enjoy it. So basically, my goal here today was to get you guys thinking about the possibilities of solar energy in Plymouth, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video.
Excellent. Very nicely done.
Thank you.
What's what do you feel the current #1 drawback to solar energy is?
I would say the efficiency rate right now, because I think the current rates for most systems are around 20%, which is not where most people would want it to be to install it at a large scale. But in the past 10 years alone, the efficiency rate has increased from 10% to 20%, and technology has only improved from here, so I think the efficiency rates will get better very quickly.
You know, a lot of people, they really don't understand efficiencies, and they want kind of more basic question. If I pay X amount for a solar panel, how long will it take before the energy savings I get will pay for that panel?
What's your return on investment?
Right.
That's the word. So what is the current return on investment with the most efficient solar panel?
For residential systems, which are obviously much smaller than systems that a city would use, I think it's anywhere between 10 to 15 years. So for a large-scale system, I would say 20 to 25 years as of right now.
And do they make them, these solar panels, so that they can withstand 20, 25 years without maintenance, or do you have to do some maintenance with them at that point?
I think there's definitely some maintenance that has to be done, but it's very simple. It's not as intense as much. I mean, a lot of people think it might be like wind turbines where it's a very skilled job. There's only a few people that can do it. I think solar panels is much lower maintenance, and it's meant to withstand a lot of weather and that kind of stuff, so it should last a very long time.
So what's the average cost for a homeowner if they want to put up a solar panel?
For residential, I think current technology is about $15,000, and so with the return on investment being about 10 to 15 years, and then, but there's also the option of selling excess electricity back to the city or the provider of electricity, like Xcel Energy or so. So you would get your money back faster that way if you were to choose that option.
Excellent answers.
I'm gonna the solar gardens.
What's the question?
The solar gardens, have you looked into those?
I haven't looked into them, but I have heard of them, and I think they produce energy a lot faster than just putting it on the roofs. But I haven't specifically looked into a lot of that.
I'm gonna presume that like two neighbors could get together and put in and share that electricity, right? So if they were worried about the upfront cost, you could probably make that work. What would you say is the best application for a solar panel? For like a community like Plymouth, is it on a commercial industrial building, or is it on a city hall? Is it on a residential property? Do you think, or
Like if we were to do it in Plymouth?
yeah, what would be the ideal place to put it? Do you think who could use it the most? I guess.
Well, I don't know if you remember the stat from the video, but currently Hennepin County pays $9 million just for electricity costs for buildings, which isn't including like any other electrical costs. So I think with city-owned buildings, there's a lot of roof space, so I would probably put it on those buildings more than residential buildings, just because of the surface area.
And that makes sense, because we just swapped out all the lights, parking lot now, because of electricity, because of bills.
Yeah.
Well, remember last month I brought in that one vendor that offered it, they'd like to put the solar panels on ice.
Yeah, that's right, they were interested in doing that.
So they would certainly be more than happy to give the city a proposal.
Yeah.
Right, and then just in expansion on the ice center, adding probably a half of a rink size onto the end, so which would add a lot more roof space too, that you could add more panels.
One of the places I know where we use them now, I see them on the side of the road, is when we have signs that need to light up in some fashion. Little solar panel there,
Yeah.
flash an LED when you're supposed to slow down.
The LED technology, couldn't those be applied to every single street light, every single parking lot? Anybody, a panel that goes on top of them that would run that light, that LED?
I'm gonna guess yes, but Paige might have come across that.
I haven't, but I think you can, and if you had a small battery just for that light, it would store that energy and use it for when the light is actually be on, which would be at night, so.
Did you look at all the Solar Energy Jobs Act that the state legislature passed in 2013?
I haven't, no. The bill I looked into was called the Energy Deployment Act of 2013, and basically it was a federal act that would provide grants to cities and school districts to put solar panels on their buildings.
Question. If it's a great technology and it's a good return on investment, why does the federal government have to give tax dollars to incent people to invest in it?
That's not a
I think
solar
more-
energy question.
Yeah.
More fire that guy.
Yeah.
I mean, if it's good, why isn't it more prevalent? I mean, it sounds like it's a great pitch, sounds good, it's healthy, it's green.
I think right now, and in the past specifically, the cost for these technologies were really expensive, so they didn't really want to do it as much. But now, as the technologies improve and the prices are decreasing, it's becoming more of a thing that people want to look into federally.
Do you think in the end though, it should be just like a commercial company selling it, that's the best way to go? And you think the best way is still to have it kind of subsidized through federal state grants for a while?
I think if you made it competitive, it would lower the prices a lot faster than if you were to do it through the government, but that's just my opinion.
The county library, I noticed, was in there. It's got a green roof, could you put a solar panel like extended above a green roof and still have a green roof or no?
Not where it converges like this, but probably on the other sides where it's just a flat roof.
Oh, okay.
He is supporting the technology of solar energy and can be
There's a few organizations, I think it's called SolarWorks Minnesota, that's the one that I come across from Minnesota that is developing these technologies. And there's some more local companies in Minnesota, but I can't remember the name of the company that does it more nationwide, but there are a few companies doing it in Minnesota that I'm sure you can look into from.
Do the panels have to be a certain angle to keep snow from getting on them in the wintertime?
You know, I don't really know that. I think the angle that they do is to get the most,
They try
to
to make
maximize
90
the
degrees
solar.
with
Yeah,
whatever the sun's angle is, so a rotating one.
right. And I think that would be the routine maintenance that you would have to do, would just be to clear it off in the winter to make sure that the snow doesn't harden into ice and then damage the panels that way, so.
What comes next with your project?
This is the final part. I guess if you were to take another step, it would just be following up on the stuff that I'm doing in the community. Like I printed some flyers like these that I'm gonna get approved, and I would pass these out to people and for them to get them more informed, because a lot of people just don't know about these technologies. So I guess that would be my next part if I were to add another one.
I think your video is excellent, obviously. You have a lot of great knowledge on the subject. Well, I think you're getting bombarded with questions. But I have another one for you, is when I listen to you, Paige, and I watch your video, I get the sense that the technology and the return on investment is starting to reach this breaking point where it could pick up pace quickly. And I'm looking at these grants and the Eco Lab and other companies looking at the solar gardens. This isn't the only place in the country where they look at solar gardens. And do you get the same sense that the technology is getting to the point where this is sort of picking up steam?
Yeah, definitely. I think that when they were making the systems in the beginning, they didn't really have an idea of what they, I guess, were doing. And now that they're coming up with different ways to harness solar energy, where there's, I think, 5 or 6 different kinds of solar systems, whether it be you can use it for heating and cooling or just for your electrical stuff. So I feel like as people are, I guess, learning and researching more about how to make these panels, they're making them better and better, which is why the technology is improving and why people are, I guess, learning about it more. And that's why people are looking into it more as the prices of the solar panels decrease and the prices of like fossil fuels or that are other renewable energies is still the same or higher. I guess people are looking to a cheaper way or to harness energy.
Yeah, and I feel like let's say a 15-year return on investment is getting pretty close to the point where people would really get interested in it. And I think about the recession just 5 or 6 years ago when the federal government invested in a lot of solar energy companies and they didn't work out very well. And it seems like in just that short period of time now, it's getting to the point where things are maybe looking up for solar, and that's certainly the impression you get from you and from your video.
Definitely.
Do you know technically if the advances are in the photocell itself, or just in the efficiency of how the photocell transmits the energy and stores it?
I'm not sure about the photocell, but I definitely know that efficiency rates are improving dramatically, but I'm not sure if that's because they're finding better ways to use the photocell to create it, or if it's just that they're making the batteries better to harness and keep the energy.
So it's also scale. China's pumping out zillions of solar panels. So there's, like you said, there's a number of different technologies for solar PV.
Yeah.
They're getting more efficient, and scale is driving.
Supply is increased.
Right. There's so many more panels on the market than present.
An additional comment to the change of technology you mentioned. Before they were using glass for it, and now they find a way to use film. That's why it's so cheap and it's more weather resistant. Plus, some of those wires and everything print it instead of the actual wiring of these.
Yeah. I appreciate all the questions. Do you guys have any more for me, or I'll let you go?
Yeah, one more.
Yeah.
Have you looked into passive solar systems where the design of buildings are such that you use just the sun shining to warm up rooms, more windows or glass facing the south?
No, I haven't as much, but I was mostly looking at the photovoltaic panels. But I think that's a great technology as well, and a great use of the heat from the sun is just to use the natural lighting to open it up and to heat just with the sun itself. I think that's a great idea.
Well, thank you for coming in. When you first said this was for an economics class, I'll tell you, like, economics class. And now, this is as much about economics as it is about environment.
I didn't catch the part about being an economics class. I have
Yeah.
a question.
Sure.
What do you think will happen with the price of a barrel of oil going $40, $30, somebody says maybe $20 a barrel? Is that going to slow down development in solar?
I think oil is very unpredictable, whereas it's a lot of political stuff as well as economic stuff, whereas everyone and anyone can harness energy from the sun if they have the technology and potential to do so. So I feel like oil could change tomorrow, like the prices could go up if something political happens, but the sun really isn't going to change for millions of years, so. Yeah.
I might recommend, that was an excellent video that you did. The graphs and things went a little bit fast, and
Okay.
while you said increasing, efficiency, to actually have the
Right.
exact statistics
Mhm.
that, such percentage
Mhm.
or such kilowattage kind of adds a little bit more
Right.
economic kind of strength to your argument.
Okay.
I agree. I think if you talk to companies, the first question they're going to ask is a return on investment.
Mm.
And a break even at 15, 20 years, if you put millions of dollars into something, but you're not going to break even until 15, 20 years, that's going to scare a lot of people off. But if you showed what it could do with some efficiencies in the next couple of years, where people they think the technology might go, if you start getting that down into the single digits,
Mm.
you turn a lot of heads in.
Right.
And that's, now we're talking economics, not the environment itself, but economics of things, because whether we like it or not, that's what's going to drive it.
That would be very encouraging to know, like how many years from now will it be, in 3 years, this will pay for itself? Because then you've got a wide open market that's the
Absolutely.
Right.
Then you've got private sector money and all sorts of money.
Yeah.
Hey, you guys start a company here.
That's what I'm thinking.
Start rolling.
Let's
Well,
go.
you said education is one of your next tasks, and I was just thinking, we have the garden expo, and it's sometimes having just a little video there, and you can talk with residents. We haven't decided what our topic might be that day, but we can always have a corner of the table. Just throwing it out there.
Yeah.
And let me know that, I don't have a card here, but you have my email.